Say these 2 words, and any woman who desires you will melt. Don't write those 2 words into the chat. Don't copy them into a pickup line. Treat this like a magic spell. If you want a trick, elation, or a cheap seduction tactic that works once and destroys trust forever, scroll past. This is not that. Something far more powerful than any line. Someone whose very presence makes people feel safe, seen, wanted, and then speaking to words that are honest, steady, and rare enough to actually move someone. The words themselves are simple, flashy. They don't promise fireworks. Something deeper. When you say them as someone who means them, who has done the inner work, they land like a calm tide that changes the atmosphere of the room. They melt resistance, not by flattery, but by truth. They melt defenses, not by guilt, but by safety. They melt uncertainty, not by giving permission, but by offering clarity. You arrived here for a cheap trick. You'll be disappointed. Are ready to be the kind of man who can say 2 simple words and mean them and therefore make someone melt because they finally feel safe to lower their guard, then stay. And listen carefully. This is Stoic love. Theatrical charm. This is about discipline, dignity, and depth. About why words matter less than the man who speaks them. Peace is just a sound. A feeling is the echo. When someone melts at 2 words, they aren't melting at the syllables, melting at the reality behind them. He is chosen, is present, is calm. Stoicism teaches us that what matters is not externals, but character. Words are an external, there is internal. Change the internal, the externals, including the response of others, shift in honest and sustainable ways. So what are the 2 words? Simply this: I choose you. Read that again. Choose you. The power in those words is not in claiming ownership or possession. It's in the deliberate act of choosing someone in full awareness of yourself and in full acceptance of what is and what might be. It's an honest, voluntary commitment from someone who knows he could walk away but chooses to stay. It's rare. That's attractive. That's stoic. Think of all the moments in love stories that truly moved you. It wasn't the dramatic shouting. It was the quiet moment of clarity when someone said, I want you. But here's the difference. I want you can sound needy, desperate, or dependent. I choose you is different. It carries autonomy. It says, I have options, I have a life, and yet I am choosing you. That is what resonates. Stoicism teaches that the only things within your control are your judgments, your desires, and your aversions. Everything else, including the reactions of others, lies outside. So when you say I choose you from a stoic posture, really saying is, I have examined my values, I've chosen, I am not desperate, I am free to pick. That freedom is magnetic. But here's the truth. You cannot fake that freedom. You can try to utter the words with slick confidence, but if inside you are trembling with insecurity, tone will betray you. The work must be inside. Emotional clarity, humility, the capacity to accept rejection without collapse. That inner work is what gives your voice calmness and steadiness so that when you say, I choose you, it feels real. Own your inner economy. A Stoic builds worth that does not depend on external validation. Each day, quietly record your responsibilities, your fitness, your work, your studies, your kindness, and give yourself credit, not arrogance, but acknowledgement. This creates a sense of competence that makes you generous with attention because you are giving it as a choice, not from need. You must master your appetite for certainty. Humans crave it, but happiness is born from the fear of not knowing. Stoicism trains you to accept uncertainty and act with virtue regardless. When you don't get a reply to a message, compress the drama into facts. Message sent. By yet. I will do something valuable with my next 20 minutes to narrate a catastrophe. That is resilience. Practice presence instead of performance. People melt, not because you say the right words, but because they feel seen. To train presence, try small exercises. Look at yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes and name honestly what you feel. Listen to someone without preparing your response. Presence in small drills becomes presence in the moments that matter. You must embrace humility combined with competence. Admitting small mistakes is disarming. Saying, I was wrong strips away defensiveness. Humble competence is irresistible because it proves both honesty and capability. And above all, you must practice non-reactive courage. Stoicism isn't about indifference. Calm bravery. If you can remain steady under stress, become the person others know they can lean on. That steadiness is rare. That steadiness is what makes two words so powerful. Choose you is not a performance. It's a reflection of a month, a year, a lifetime of choices that prove you are reliable. If you want to mean it, spend 30 days training. Breathe before reaching for your phone each morning. End your day by reflecting on what you controlled and what you let go. Listen without interrupting. Practice small vulnerabilities with friends into discomfort deliberately. Write to your future self about what it means to be the kind of man who can say, I choose you. Then, when the time comes, you will say it calmly because it will already be the truth of your life. The words themselves can be spoken in different ways, depending on the moment. In a casual setting, it can be, I choose you to spend this weekend with because I want to know you better. When clarity is needed, it can be, I don't want to play games. I choose you, and I want us to decide together what that means. When vulnerability is called for, it can be as raw as, I could walk away. I choose you. I'm here. And when it's time to seal commitment, be simply, I choose you. Amen. Tone is everything. Slowly, let silence breathe after it. Rush to fill the space. Let the words land. If she replies, listen fully. Doesn't remain calm. Your calmness is the proof that the words were real and not just a tactic. But know this, it's immoral to use these words as a manipulation or a test. Stoicism demands virtue. It demands that our actions align with wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Using I choose you to control someone violates those principles, so say it only if you mean it, only if you will back it up with action. Only if you are ready for reciprocation or graceful rejection. Sometimes she won't say it back, and when that happens, your strength will be tested. You must acknowledge her truth. Thank her for her honesty and hold your dignity. You must accept what you cannot control and remain free in your own choice. This is the highest Stoic lesson. No one else's words can take away your agency. The truth is, people melt not because of syllables, but because of the presence behind them. They melt because in a world of endless options, they encounter someone who still chooses depth over distraction. They melt because someone looked at them without neediness, without performance, and calmly said, I choose you. That is not magic. That is not a trick. That is the fruit of discipline, courage, and clarity. The next time you are tempted to chase cheap tactics, remember that a line without integrity is noise. A life built on virtue is music. And when the moment comes, the two words will be enough. So practice, build presence, own your choices. Train your inner economy. And when the moment is true, let the words rise from a steady heart. I choose you.